So, that is kind of the RPG collection there. So let's talk about just some generally great Super Nintendo games here and some other carts that came out just recently, shall we? This is in no particular order. I'm just grabbing these and sharing memories on the fly, folks. Demon's Crest. Great game. Actually, the Gargoyle's Quest series. Rented this from the video store the first time I ever played it, and it had such like a demonic and scary tone to it. The music is great, the graphics are great, tons of replayability, great amount of endings, very Super Metroid-ish, if you get what I mean by that. A lot of exploration, you can go back to a lot of areas, but it's a little bit more free-flowing. Tons and tons and tons of fun. Star Fox, I already talked about it. Fantastic game. One of my favorites. Doesn't look great by today's standards, but still a great one. Actually, I have a Star Fox 2 cart as well, which is pretty cool. Contra III. There's a funny story about Contra III because it actually has to do with my wife, and me and my wife didn't even know each other at the time, but me and my little brother played Contra III at a store called Venture. The Venture was a really big chain of stores back in the 80s and 90s that kind of closed down. And the first time we played it, it was on another demo kiosk there at the Venture. And we were playing through it. The sound effects were awesome. We got to the overhead map things. Just so cool. Still love the music to this game. The reason this is funny is Venture had these things where if you needed assistance, you would press the button, and the thing would keep ringing until the employee came to it. Well, anytime we went shopping in Venture, I used to press the things, and then we'd obviously leave the aisle by that time. And whoever was the employee at that time had to go to each one and, you know, turn the thing off, and there'd be nobody there. Well, I didn't know it at the time, but my wife worked at Venture, and my wife is a couple years older than me, so she would have been working before I was actually able to work. But she used to tell me that it used to be really annoying because she was almost positive that these kids used to come in and just press this button and this thing would go off, and it used to drive her crazy. Well, that was us. That was totally guilty. So I was annoying my wife even before we married her, before she was even my girlfriend. So good stuff there. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. When I rented this and popped it in, I had no idea what to expect. I was hoping for something like The Adventure of Link. Instead, I got something like the original Zelda. That was absolutely okay. You put this in along with the comic that was in Nintendo Power, and it just made for an awesome game. Great music, the light world, the dark world, getting the Master Sword. God, this game was so freaking epic. Hard as hell, too. At least it was when I was first playing it. Great game. The Peacekeepers. Not too many people know about this, but this is actually part of the Rushing Beat series. And Peacekeepers was the third game in the series. Just a great Streets of Rage clone beat-em-up where you got a variety of other characters in it. Great game. Really good graphics, too. F-Zero was one I played at Demo Kiosk and rented it a lot. Mute City theme. Great music. The graphics were okay, but tons of fun with this. Oh, two great games here. Super Castlevania 4. When I rented this, I was ready for the Castlevania experience and I didn't know what to expect. You first walk in, you're walking in through that bridge and you hear that music and you finally get into the courtyard of Dracula's castle and it plays the theme of Simon. Epic. So awesome. I recorded the music to this game because they had a theme of bloody tears, and I remember at night just playing through my recorded music of Castlevania 4 because it was just so awesome. Great music. Another game that had great music and I played the living crap out of, Mega Man X. Mega Man X was awesome because, like I said, it had great music, but for somebody coming off the original Mega Mans and loving them so much and kind of getting older, this had a darker twist to it that I really enjoyed. Great game. Yes, we have more. Here is an extremely underrated game that I remember walking into the Dollar Video rental store and seeing that they had a giant poster for it. And I thought that was kind of weird for a game. The cover art on this doesn't do it justice, but this is a very, very overlooked adventure platformer where you got all these different powers. You could transform into a phoenix. You're trying to rescue this princess. Such a great game, actually from Sony. Check it out if you've never played it. Just a great action platformer, great music, great graphics, tons of fun. Ninja Warriors. Now this is actually a sequel to Ninja Warriors from the arcade, and it doesn't have the great music that the original Ninja Warriors had, but I kind of like it a little bit more than the arcade version of Ninja Warriors. Just another action platformer, very, very, very easy, but fun to play. Big characters, colorful graphics, lots of fun. We rented this a couple of times. Some two really great games here. The first one is Donkey Kong Country. How did I get hyped on Donkey Kong Country? Nintendo sent a video to everybody under the sun who they knew had a Super Nintendo or a Nintendo system. It came in this promotional video thing, this green jungle thing. It had this geeky host going into Nintendo of America and talking about Donkey Kong Country. Showing the graphics for this thing, I couldn't believe that this was actually possible on a 16-bit system. But the graphics for this thing look so amazing. We rented this at Dollar Video, got to play it for a little while, and then we got it again for Christmas. I still love the packaging for this, the jungle-looking packaging. It's so smooth. The game itself still plays great. It's coming back soon for the Wii. The music in this was great. I had the soundtrack on tape that I actually bought from the Nintendo Power Super Power Club. Really, really, really good music on this. And finally, Super Metroid. Wow, this was hyped up in Nintendo Power big time, and this is my favorite Metroid game hands down. Great graphics, the introduction really set the mood, colors are amazing, the music is amazing, so much stuff you could explore and find and try to destroy. The boss battles, the bosses were huge in this game. The last sequence that you play in this game, you're basically trying to find this baby hatchling Metroid that was stolen from the lab. Mother Brain is kicking your ass, and she's about to destroy you, and the hatchling pretty much saves your life and gives you this super beam to destroy her. Just extremely epic, great music. I remember playing this around Easter. Tons of fun. I really need to pop this in again. And really quick, one accessory that I really enjoyed, the Super Game Boy. I mean, it's a simple concept, but it was so cool the fact that I could take all my Game Boy games and pop it in the Super NES and just start playing. And this one is a modern accessory. This is the Super NES Power Pack. I did a review of this, almost about a year ago. Hard to believe I've had this for this long. But this basically lets you play ROMs. You can play translated stuff, you can play stuff you don't own, obviously, or stuff you do own. With so many Super NES cards, it's just a little bit easier for me to pop this into the memory card and play it from there. That way I don't have to pull the games out all the time. And it's also good if you want to try some import stuff that you're not sure is English friendly, and it will make it over here. But another great accessory, a little pricey at $100, but a great, great, great value. Really love this cart. So that's pretty much it, guys. There's so many other games that I could talk about, like Killer Instinct and Flashback, Out of This World. So many great games for the system, but the system is so nostalgic for me. It definitely gave me something to look forward to when I would come home. And again, I want to thank you guys for checking out this I Remember series. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I'm going to go play some Super Nintendo games. And again, this has been I Remember. Don't you ever forget the gaming memories from your past. I'm Mike Murtis. Peace.